we got a phone call from that factory who was telling us whether we had work or not the next day. And that phone call that day didn't go well. They said they had no more work for forever. That was it. So we had to call the team in, sit them all down, and tell them I was going to find them a job. Shut it down.
Explain your business, trade type of work, what you guys both do in the business and the team size.
Yeah, so this is Monique and I'm Clark. We run fitted joinery installation together. We install joinery, so kitchens, wardrobes, laundries, all that cabinetry kind of stuff. Fit out work, we do a bit of that as well. And we work for some people who buy a flat pack kitchen. That's about 30% of our work. Another 20% is for like a private person who's bought a kitchen from Bunnings. And then we also, that's not the best work. Sorry, Bunnings. And we also contract to joinery factories who need capacity or ship it, out of their town, and we'll work for them. So I started about 8 years ago with a van that I bought for about $3,000. It was a piece of crap. And Monique came on about 5 years ago. She has an accounting background because I was struggling with the accounting and admin. And we moved to Ashburton, started again. And at the moment we've got 2 installers and a workshop based in Ashburton. And as 2 months ago we came down and moved to Cromwell, and we're setting up here. We've got workshop down here. And we're working down here as well for the Mitre 10s and also contracting out to other joinery firms.
Nice, love it. And let's go back before you started PT. So what was life like before you joined the $1 Million Tradie program?
At best it was hectic, and at worst it was garbage. So we had no control over our schedule. So we'd find out where we were going about 10:30, 11 o'clock at night.
Every day?
Every day, whether we had a job or not, or how big it was and how many people we had to send there. We might have to drive an hour and a half, and we'd find out, and then we'd have to tell the boys, you got to leave 5:30 tomorrow.
Phew.
Yeah, mate. And then they'd be on site maybe 11, 12 hours and then drive home.
Yeah, wow.
And then, obviously that meant, and when we got real busy, Monique would come to site, help us out. All our admin was in the evenings and the weekends. We got busy because we were doing a reasonable job, a good job. And we'd grown to myself, 2 other installers and 2 labourers. But we were just working harder and harder, more hours. Everyone was working at least 65 hours a week.
Yeah, wow.
And all our mental health was kind of suffering.
Are you making money?
Nah. At one point, the worst bit was had the team in Canterbury, and I was travelling down here to Central Otago here, staying in a teardrop camper in the camping ground in Wanaka, working 6 days a week to cover the wages. So, that was our minimum. And then just before we signed up for PT, it hit. So January 24, we had finished a massive year. Everyone had been working those, 70-hour, 60-hour weeks, working to the dark. And then the van broke down in Wellington. That cost us about $15,000. And we didn't have any money, so we ticked it up on a credit card, got that hunger junk towed back to Ashburton. And then at the start of the year, so that was around December time, and then start of that year we got a phone call from that factory who was telling us whether we had work or not the next day. And that phone call that day didn't go well. They said they had no more work for forever. That was it. So we had to call the team in, sit them all down, and tell them I was going to find them a job. Shut it down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would have been really tough.
Sucked.
What was the headspace like at the time for you both, when all of that was going on?
There was a lot of tears. We pretty much called them in, sat around the dining table and told them it was over.
Yeah.
We tried to find them more jobs, which was unsuccessful, and we did everything we could. I remember one of them patting Clark on the back saying, "It's okay, we don't blame you. We know how hard you've worked." and they all completely understood. We'd pretty much given up ourselves and started looking for jobs, but hadn't managed to find anything. And then Clark had seen the PT Facebook ads, and we decided to give it a go.
It's a hard time to make a call like that too, but like lots of respect to you both for doing that. Seriously, I've had to have similar conversations like that, but I know that would have been one of the toughest things to do, right? To stand in front of them and say, hey, we just can't go forward any longer.
Oh, and when they tell you that, it's not your fault, but deep down you know it's your fault. Yeah,
Tough, guys.
That was real hard.
How was all that coming back into home life when the business was in that state?
Oh, mate, you've seen all the interviews with couples up here, right? The arguing, the not doing anything other than work. Yeah, just rubbish. And I hadn't done anything, so like all I did was work, didn't think about anything else, didn't go hang out with my mates, didn't ride my bike, didn't do anything. Yeah.
Just stop looking after yourselves altogether, yeah?
Pretty much, yeah. Work, have dinner at BP, start again tomorrow.
Back at BP?
Yeah.
Oh, no. I think you've made this pretty clear, but just in case there's anything else you want to add, was there any sort of catalyst other than that just made you decide to join? And I am curious, like, it's a commitment at the same time, and you were at that place. How did you pull yourself into a state to go, we're going to like run at this 100% and like pull it back?
Well, all the time I've been driving through from Central Otago back to Ashburton, which is about like a 4 or 5 hour drive, I'd been listening to the podcast heaps because I knew it was broken, I needed to fix it. But I just couldn't get enough out of the podcast to do it on my own. And often I'd tell Monique about something awesome on the podcast that I just learned, and she'd tell me about 7 other rubbish things that were happening, and we'd have to work on those. So I figured we just had to commit.
Yeah.
And if we were going to go broke, we might as well go broke trying, right?
100%. Good on you guys, seriously. Let's talk about the biggest changes, because you've done a lot of cool stuff. So what have been the biggest changes for you guys that have made the real difference here?
We stopped buying Fords. That was my first one.
Nice.
Monique's been like smashing back costing.
Yeah.
And then from that, we knew who to put our prices up for, started charging for our travel, which we weren't doing before. That changed things huge, hun?
Yeah.
And then stopped people sending us for a 2-hour drive because it was just too expensive.
Yeah.
And then on the back of that, was the biggest change was we started sharing those results with the team. So we'd back cost their jobs as a team and sit down every month and say, you know, you boys smashed it. There was like 50% GP on that one. Well done. That one was awesome. That one was in the 30s. What happened? And then we could improve. You know, they'd give us feedback on what we needed to do or whatever. Change a process in the workshop or something like that.
That's really cool. So you've involved them in that, the numbers, they started to understand margins, and now they're actually committed to improving off the back of it, it sounds like.
Yeah.
Could you walk us through how you do that with the team? I think there'd probably be some interest in that.
So every month we go through the back costings. We've got a A3 size calendar that we print out, and on there we put the GP margins per job for the day. We've got 5 different categories. So we've got the epic fail, the bad, the good, the superhero, and the legend status. And they're all colour-coded, so every month they know what the colour means now.
Yeah.
And even Liam, we sent him one yesterday, and he's like, yeah, I'm loving those purples, that's awesome.
That legend status.
Yeah. And yeah, they're getting really involved now and just really pumped up to see it.
Yeah, awesome. A bit of friendly competition too, I assume, right?
Oh yeah, they're all crouching over like, oh yeah, that was my one, look at that one. And yeah, it's awesome to see.
Cool.
And they can see that all those purples mean we can get one less Ford, buy a new high ace, just all that stuff.
There might be some people waiting for you behind the doors after.
Yeah, from Bunnings and Ford, right? But as a result of all of that, like with our flat pack jobs, we used to assemble them in a garage in our house. That sucked. And now we've got proper workshop set up for like full-on efficiency, decent trailer to deliver it in, getting checklists for our installs and processes in place that just mean that, especially those Mitre 10 jobs, we're just crushing them now. And getting feedback from the team. And then we started marketing like constantly. So we used to just do word of mouth and wait for the phone to ring. Screw that, man. It's just sending lumpy mails. But the main one for us has been email to people whether they want dates or not. And then installs, following up on those.
Yep.
And then getting installs just to keep that calendar full.
So always marketing, yeah?
Yeah, always. Yeah. And then also honing in on our niche, finding things that weren't worth it. And the confidence on that is we took on some larger projects. So we've done a few of the Mitre 10 stores now that when they refresh their kitchen department and having the team size to go in and the efficiency, like the Queenstown one here, some of the refreshes have been taking like 5-6 weeks to sort out. But with the team that we had, we were able to strip one right down and put it all back in 2.5 weeks. And that just gets you up the front of, in the stores and gets our word around head office, which is awesome.
That's the one.
Yeah, and just, one of my mates said, you're going to take over the South Island one Mitre 10 at a time. I was like, sounds like a good goal. So, and then the other thing we've changed is Finn pushed us just to get bigger, and that was the result of, starting up down here. So when I told him on a coaching call, we've had an email from the Mitre 10 in Queenstown, he's like, why aren't you down there yet? So went down, had the meeting, did it in Wanaka as well, and now here we are.
Yeah, well done, guys. That's awesome. Let's talk about I'd love to know, what does the results of the changes mean for you guys specifically, yourselves, and then the business and the team as well?
Well, that whole charging different rates for different customers is a massive thing. So for the people who unfortunately buy a flat pack kitchen that's garbage, we charge more because it takes us more time and more effort.
Yeah.
And average GP's gone from, it was always below 30, now it's average is 46 at least, and we've smashed a few 70s.
Nice.
Which is awesome.
Yeah, great shift.
And I think the proudest thing is the high ones were always me on the tools, but now we're getting the team and getting those high ones on the tools.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's been awesome. Our average hours in the team has gone down to hovering around 50.
Good, from 65 you said, right?
Well, the team did 65 and I'd do more than that, but everyone's doing around that 50, which is awesome.
Good change, yeah, they would have been burning out crazy.
Yeah, man. Our turnover, so we used to average about 55 a month with those 6 or 7 on the team, and now with only 4 of us in total, last 2 months we cracked 110k.
Good shift.
Yeah, with net profit. The team actually commented that they noticed we aren't winging it anymore. That your structure, organised, they can see what they're doing. Yeah. And having work in front of us is just a massive change. Knowing you got 2 months in front of you is sweet.
Nice. I can see the shift in both your faces as we've gone through this. It's really cool. That's some cool business stuff. How's things shifted for you two personally, energy, relationship, from being in control?
Well, this week Clark's been down the snow twice this week.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I think I'm around 35, 40 hours now, whereas before I was doing 10:30 to 11 and the weekends. Now just 9 till 5, that's it.
Great.
And Clark's pretty much the same as well.
Good. Stress?
A lot less.
Way down. Yeah. And we have confidence now. And I think for the two of us as well, sometimes if there's anything that we're stuck on, we've just got a coach to call on or a resource we can check on. Just kind of helps us clarify where we're going, what we need to do next.
Let's talk about mindset. What are some of the mindset shifts that you've had to make?
We've stopped turning down work. Before, I was always scared that we were going to end up double booked around certain dates and things. And now I've just made sure that a week or 2 weeks out, I'm shuffling them just a day or two so I can flip them around or something. And we've never had a double booking yet. It's just always been just right.
I think we're not desperate at accepting every job now. We know the jobs that we want, and we're willing to turn down the rubbish ones because we know we've got a decent one anyway. Yeah, and that's a massive thing. So you're not sending the team to a crappy site doing a crappy job, you know. That was awesome. And I think for me, I just needed to become a business owner. Like people would ask me, what do you do? I'll be like, oh, I install kitchens. But now I tell them that I run a joinery installation company. When you say it out loud, man, like, you know, and people look at you different, and even it makes you act differently. So I just focus on, you know, building those relationships, meeting new clients, factories, generating future work, because I never want to sit at that table again. I think the other big one for me, especially when we did the coaching calls, was just the order of focusing on the wins, focusing on what you need to do next, look after the team. It just helps you have that real positive outlook for the future. Just, you know, there's a runway that you can look to. It's not just Groundhog Day every day. And that means you can just look at those bigger projects. What are you going to do next?
Guys, if you have questions for Clark and Monique, jump up to the mics.
What have you done to make sure that you're, like where you set up a new area, I guess it's not you moving, are you moving here, but then you leave?
Yeah, we've already moved here, man.
So then you've got people living up there, so now
Correct.
You've got a remote team. What do you put in place to kind of make sure that the team is running, you know, when you're not there every day?
So I do a phone call every week about the scheduling for the next week, just outline the key things that they need to hit. Obviously, Tradie with the scheduling, they know exactly what they're up to. They can plan all that out. And then we just got a system with them that if they need to phone me, they send me a text if you got 5 minutes, 10 minutes, and then I'll phone them back.
What do you guys have a process of if you have a cancellation? We use a contract installer for a bit of our stuff up in Hawke's Bay.
Yes.
And we quite, not often, once it's happened, we've had a cancellation the night before. So of course I then have to put off my contract installer, which then potentially down the road could affect future work with him and him not wanting to do my work. Is there anything you guys have in place or do or around cancellations?
That's one of the reasons we chased that flat pack work so hard. So we can effectively stash flat pack work at the workshop, and if there's a cancellation, team can go to the workshop and assemble that, and we shuffle the dates. We're not down on work. So it's a way of just smoothing that workflow, is having work stacked at the workshop ready to go.
One of the other things we have is now we have about 20 different joinery factories we work for that we've got really good relationships with. So the second we know we've got a cancellation, we'll just ring through all of them, and generally one of them will have a job.
Hey, let's give these guys a big one more standing ovation, eh? Jump on up, big clap. Good on you guys. That was awesome. Well done.